Hey, what's going on, everyone? Curious Wanderer here. Today I want to try and explain why fake anime fans can't accept anime for what it is and are always demanding changes. Although my own story will be different than the stories of others, I think it can still be used to illustrate my point. First of all, what is a fake fan? Simply put, a fake anime fan is anyone who says, I like anime, but, and then follows that up with various things that they think need to change. Fake anime fans are also those who pigeonhole themselves into watching a narrow few genres, but we'll focus on the first point for this video. Believe it or not, I used to be a fake anime fan. Yup. The difference between me and others is that I was able to change. I have the capacity to use logic and reasoning skills. In Christmas of 2012, I watched Clannad, my first anime. Anyone who has seen Clannad knows exactly what I mean when I say that it was an emotional roller coaster, unlike anything I had ever experienced before. Clannad spoke to me on so many levels. It honestly blew out of the water, rather, anything I had previously experienced in terms of storytelling. At the time, my thinking regarding sexuality in fiction was still very American. There was a dividing line in my brain that did not allow for the wholesome and the perverted to mix. I was horrified later on to find out that there existed a visual novel exploring an alternate route and that this visual novel had hentai scenes in it. I couldn't understand how or accept the fact that the same company responsible for such a wholesome story about friends, family, and dealing with the pain of loss could also create a story in that same universe which contained explicit sex scenes. I was very upset. I complained about it on a forum. I was a fake fan. Why did I think this way, though? Well, my reaction was a result of my American upbringing, as well as a fundamental misunderstanding of Japanese culture. Japan's religious history is one of Shintoism. Because of this, they don't have the same hang-ups regarding sexuality that Western nations do, who tend to have a Christian background. It took time and effort, but eventually I was able to change my thinking. This casual attitude towards sexuality in fiction is the reason we have a number of anime tropes that fake fans complain about, such as fan service and shonen. It's funny that they complain because shonen means young man, and what do young men like? They like tits and ass. But fake fans are always outraged when they find tits and ass in their shonen anime about shirtless dudes screaming at each other. Another thing that fake fans often bitch and moan about is how women are depicted in anime. Japan remains one of the most patriarchal nations in the world, so of course this would be reflected in their art. One last thing I'd like to touch on is diversity in anime. Black people especially bitch and moan that there aren't more black people in anime. Japan used to be an isolated country. Though they have become more open to the outside world, they're still very much a monolith. Excuse me. There are very few minorities in Japan, so the average Japanese person is not thinking of foreigners or of representing them in their work. Many Japanese people also have a nationalist mindset, as they should. They are not hyper-focused on the outside world. In closing, many of the reasons for fake fans not accepting anime for what it is are directly rooted in cultural misunderstandings. These people will continue to bitch and moan and whine and complain. Those of us who just want Japan to be left alone to do its thing have a duty to make the anime fandom as unpleasant as possible for these posers. That's everything. Thanks for watching.